this coronavirus is causing situations that none of us ever imagined we would find ourselves in. For example, I am videoing myself. I think they call that a selfie, but I've never had to video myself. There's always been somebody else. But I'm stuck in my house, not just in my house. Sherry has me locked in my room, and I've been here for more than 2 weeks, and nobody's entering and no one's leaving. So, welcome to my first selfie. Why is this coronavirus happening? Lots of people are asking that question, and there are some people who think they have the answer. I have seen answers, everything from it's because of globalization, it's because of global warming, it's because of the homosexuals. Everything gets blamed on the homosexuals. It's because of licentious behavior. It's because of lashon hara, evil talk. It's because. Does there always have to be a reason? Well, I've been reading this book. Everything happens for a reason. It's written by Kate Bowler. Kate Bowler is a professor at Duke Divinity School. At 35 years old, they discovered that she has stage 4 cancer. Everything happens for a reason. My grandson Kobi would tell you, yes, this Shabbos was supposed to be his bar mitzvah, and it just can't be. He would tell you that the whole purpose of the coronavirus was to assure him that he wouldn't have to take a haircut for his bar mitzvah. But do I have to tell you how disappointed I am that I can't officiate at the bar mitzvah of my first grandson? He was my first grandchild who was a boy. And boy, oh boy, have we knocked it off ever since. He's delicious. What should I tell you? He wishes the best on everybody. Everybody. Our connection is so close that not only does he have my Amazon Prime account, he has my American Express serial numbers. That's really close. And now he can't have his bar mitzvah. Everything happens for a reason. You look closer, the name of the book is Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved. Did the coronavirus happen for a reason? We'll discuss that for another time. But I'm not going to let a virus spoil me the joy of listening to my grandson deliver his bar mitzvah speech. So here it is, this week's special Parshah preview, delivered by a man named Kobi Wohlberg.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
3 months ago, my cousin Maya stood before you to become a bar mitzvah. Of all of Rabbi Wohlberg's grandchildren, Maya is arguably the most outgoing. Today, 3 months later, I speak before you to become a bar mitzvah, and I am arguably Rabbi Wohlberg's quietest and shyest grandchild. Maya had a big bar mitzvah with a big party. She did as much as she could. She even did a women's service. I was only going to have a little bar mitzvah with no party. I was trying to do as little as I could. Between you and me, even doing this speech was too much. But who would have ever thought the entire world would be shutting down? Now I have nothing, and I'm sad to have lost that opportunity, even though I really wanted no bar mitzvah at all. I'm a very shy person and hate going up in front of big crowds. So you can only imagine the terror in my heart if I had been speaking to you live right now. Not like my grandfather. He is one of the best speakers I know, and he makes it seem so easy. I certainly didn't get his skill. Despite my shyness and terror, I learned that there is so much goodness that comes out of bar mitzvah, like becoming a man, and for me, going out of my comfort zone. I am grateful for all of the goodness that has come out of my bar mitzvah experience. In fact, it is gratitude that I want to talk to you about today. My Parshah, Vayikra, is not one of those colorful ones filled with amazing stories. It's all about sacrifices and the laws and rituals about them. The Parshah talks about 3 main types of sacrifices. 1, a sin offering, which is brought to Hashem when one seeks forgiveness. An elevation offering, which is brought to Hashem to become close to Him. And 3, a thanksgiving offering, or a peace offering. This is brought to Hashem when something good happens in someone's life and they want to thank Hashem for it. I'm going to focus on the last kind, the peace offering, or the thanksgiving offering. For this is what made me grateful to have my bar mitzvah on this Shabbat with this Parshah. It gave me the opportunity to learn about the amazing power of gratitude. And let me start by expressing some gratitude. I want to thank Rabbi Yogev. I am grateful to him for making me aware of the power of gratitude. He taught me how the Korban Shlamim is different than the first 2 categories. The first 2 are sacrifices that a person must bring in certain circumstances, but a person brings Shlamim freely to God just because the individual wants to. Because he or she is feeling grateful for some reason and wants to thank God for some goodness He has bestowed. This particular type of Shlamim is called a Korban Todah, a thanksgiving offering. When you think about it, Judaism places a big emphasis on gratitude. What is the very first thing we do when we wake up? We say Modeh Ani. We thank Hashem for restoring our souls to us after a night's sleep. We make a blessing before every bite of food. It's our expression of gratitude to Hashem for what He is providing us. Judaism helps us cultivate an attitude of gratitude, and that is so important because that doesn't necessarily come naturally to us. I have observed and learned that our brains are wired to always seek out and focus on the negative, and what we don't have, or things that are bad in our lives. And that leads to 2 of the worst traits, jealousy and envy. We even have incidents in the Torah and elsewhere that give examples of bad things happening to people who are unable to focus on all that they did have, the blessings in their lives, but only what they didn't have. This happened right at the beginning with Eve. God gave her and Adam the entire garden to eat from. The lies were literally all about picking the low-hanging fruit. There were just 2 trees in the entire garden Hashem said they couldn't eat from. And one of them was where Eve decided to hang around, and it was there that the snake tricked her and she ate from it. But why was she even there, standing by one of the only trees she needed to avoid when she had the rest of the entire garden to use? It's because she focused on what she didn't or couldn't have, not on everything she did have. Life is hard. Even I, as a 13-year-old, know that. And so it's easy to focus on what's bad in our lives or what we don't have instead of focusing on all the things we do have, on all of the blessings. I think everyone has had to think about this the past few weeks, and we will continue to need to focus on what we do have and not what we don't. I'm just grateful to have plenty of toilet paper at home. Something interesting happens when you consciously and actively focus on your blessings. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you become happier. And everyone wants to be happy. In the book, The How of Happiness, the author explains an interesting way our minds work. No matter how good or bad your life actually is, your happiness will largely depend on the kinds of things your mind thinks about. In other words, you can be a king living in a palace and have everything your heart desires. But if your mind is focused on what you don't have or on negative thinking, you can still be miserable. And the opposite is also true. You can have very little in terms of materialistic things and live in difficult circumstances, like we are today. But if you can focus your mind on positive things, the good things in your life, the blessings, you can be happier than the king in the palace. Studies show that people who are grateful are not only happier, they are also more energetic, hopeful, and even spiritual. One way to practice gratitude is a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is where you regularly think about all the blessings you have in your life and you write them down. Here are 10 that I wrote. I am grateful for all of the triumphs I've gone through because they've made me stronger. I'm grateful for having a loving family who supports me and shelters me. I'm grateful for my school that gives me a great education and prepares me for the real world. I'm grateful for my house that protects me from bad things outside. I'm grateful for my friends who always cheer me up, make me laugh, and are there for me. I'm grateful for music. Music distracts me from stress, and there's so much new music to listen to. I'm grateful for video games. Video games are always so much fun and also distract me from stress. I'm grateful for everyone that has helped me with my bar mitzvah. I couldn't have done it without you all, and you've helped me so much. I'm grateful that I get a meal every night because not everyone gets to eat, and I'm fortunate enough to have that ability. I'm grateful that my family and I are all healthy, which allows us all to go out and have fun with each other. I'm also grateful for all of you for listening and wishing you well. For my bar mitzvah present, I'd like you to give me as a gift 5 minutes of your time tonight. I'd like each and every one of you to spend 5 minutes reflecting on your life and writing down 3 things you are most grateful for in your life. It's one thing to be grateful, it's another to express that gratitude. That's what I'd like to do now. I want to thank my mom for always comforting me and being patient with me. I want to thank my dad for helping me with the speech and with life itself. I want to thank my sisters for always looking out for me and being there for me when I need them the most and sometimes when I don't want them at all. I want to thank all of my grandparents for showing me endless love. Pops, you never say no, you're always willing to do stuff for us. Sauce, for making our birthdays and holidays so much fun and meaningful. Boo Boo, going to your house for Hanukkah is so much fun and you are always fun to be around. Pop-Up, you give the best hugs ever and always have great conversations. I'm grateful for Mama and that I was lucky enough to have her in my life for so long, even though she is no longer with us. I want to thank my friends for supporting me. I want to thank Rabbi Wecker and Rabbi Yoga for helping me to prepare for my bar mitzvah. I want to thank my Philadelphia cousins for Thanksgiving. It is always so fun going over there and the food is always amazing. I want to thank my Baltimore cousins for Friday night meals, Texas Hold'em, and other fun things we always do. I want to thank Cherry Ann for being my second mom. You're always kind and caring to all of the Wohlberg children. And finally, I want to thank all of you. Now that my speech is over, you're here sharing in one of the happiest days of my life. Shabbat Shalom. Feel free to throw candy at the screen now. Yeah!